If you don't know me by now, my name is Chelsea Smith. I am your learning and development specialist here at Action Benefits. And today we're going to talk about some of the free tools that I use just about every single day to run some of the marketing things that I do for Action Benefits and for you guys, my agents, to bolster your business and get more prospects, or to get your name for yourself or your agency out there, or to just make some things that you do day to day in your agency world a little easier. I personally use every single one of these tools, some of them not every single day, but a lot of them I use every single day. I had some questions about how I do it. So obviously I don't do it alone. There's a couple more of us here as well. And then there's a whole team, as you know, of staff to help you guys with the background office stuff, but that's not really what I do. I do more of the help with your marketing. So if you are here to kind of figure out where to get started with either your marketing stuff, or maybe with doing some of the things digitally that you'd like to do a little easier, this is the course for you. I'm going to jump in and get started as quickly as I can because I have a lot to go through. And if you've been to the webinar with me before, you know that I like to tell you every little thing and talk a lot. So I don't want to go over the hour. I've been pretty good the last year or so with not going over, but is what it is. Okay, so outline of what we're going to talk about today. So some of these are a little more involved than others, but here are the tools that I'm going to go over. We're going to go over Google Business, how to use Calendly, which we use here in our offices, how to gather and analyze feedback with SurveyMonkey. That one was a personal request, or a request I got from an agent. So we're going to go through that one. How to use QR code software to generate your own QR codes with QRCodeChimp. I've shown agents how to use this before, and I've used it with agents to create QR codes for them. Really easy to use. Create your own creative with Canva. Creative is like I always thought that was a weird way to put it, but a overarching way to speak on anything visual that you would make for your agency, whether it be websites, flyers. I use that. This is the one I use the most, probably every single day. Absolutely, literally. How to get your clients an easy way to talk to you and mail you with Mailto generator. And I threw in some other ones as well, like CoverageforOne, coverage for companies. We'll talk about those very briefly. And then a bonus with manage your client relationships with AgencyBloc. We have a webinar on how to use that as well as coverage for companies and CoverageforOne, but I figured I'd slip them in there really quick in case you were interested in learning more about those without having to watch the whole webinar. So I always like to get a gauge on how my audience does with technology in the first place, so I know how much time to spend on more of the details and how much time to talk about maybe the broader stuff if you guys are more familiar. If you could be so kind in the chat, it does automatically send your answer just to me. So maybe you're if you're embarrassed of your answer, that's totally fine. You can send it just to me. But tell me which statement here best describes you and your familiarity with technology, whether you use a typewriter. I remember using my grandparents' typewriter as a kid, or if you are someone who uses these tools every single day and you love them and they're the best and you're just here to listen to me because it's just your favorite thing to do, which understandable. All right, let's see the answers. I'm getting a lot of B's and C's, mostly C, to be honest. So that's good. I'm glad that's where the audience is at, because then I can kind of touch on each individual thing and then answer more questions as you have them about each platform. Please feel free at any point, if you have questions about what I'm doing in the platform, let me know. This is the first time I'm running this webinar. So where we spend our time in detail is going to be guided by your questions. So please ask as many questions as you'd like. And then I am free to stay a little later after the 11 o'clock hour if you'd like a more personal or more detailed demo of something after the course. So it does look like most of you have an understanding of tools to an extent, but want to get to know some more, which is perfect. That's what I designed this to do. So I was right when I guessed how you guys would be familiar with these products. So the one thing I do want to highlight before I get into any of these products at all is, aside from the very last tool I'm going to show you, all of these tools are completely free. The very last one, AgencyBloc, is not free. There is a charge to use that, but we do have a discount code for those of you who work with us in Action that we can give you a discount on AgencyBloc. And I will also say, because on YouTube, at least, I legally have to say this. None of the companies are paying me to say any of these things about their products, although they should be, since I'm advertising for them for free. They just genuinely are things I use every day, most days, to do my job. A lot of them do offer an upgraded version of the product with more features, and I will speak to those as I know about them. Some of them I've paid the premium for to use them and use the more detailed version. Some of them I haven't. So if that's the case, I will tell you about that and tell you if I personally think it's worth it for me. But all of these are free to use as like the base level, except for AgencyBloc at the very end. So the first tool I'm going to talk to you about today is Google My Business. I think of all of the tools that we use, this one's probably the most valuable to agents. This is, it's been around for a while. You probably just have used it in some point in your digital lifetime. You just probably weren't aware. It wasn't until I started working here and working in marketing that I understood that it was a totally different account to use this product, but most clients, I guess, of yours probably have used it and didn't realize they were using it. So Google My Business is helpful for you if you want to do any of these things. If you want your business to be searchable on Google, duh, everybody wants that. If you want to have a no-cost online presence, I know with a lot of the agents I've spoken to one-on-one about getting themselves out there with a website, the two barriers are it's hard and it's costly. And those two things can be true. It can be true that if you want a flashy website with lots of stuff, lots of pages and things to update, but that can get costly, either paying someone to do it for you or with your own time to create that if you know how to or are wanting to learn. That can be costly, but Google Business, I think, is not that difficult. It doesn't have a huge time sink for the amount of value that you're getting. So this is a good way to kind of get your feet wet with getting a website without spending tons of time or money if you're someone who doesn't have a website quite yet. If you register your address with Google, your business will appear on digital maps such as Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps, stuff like that, which is awesome, especially if you are someone who wants foot traffic. And then a public forum to post updates and display reviews. So this is really like a diet website. I always suggest agents try this out if they're interested in getting a website, but aren't willing to take the plunge quite yet into the deeper realms of a huge website. But if you have a website, you don't have a Google business page, you need one of these too. Don't get me wrong. So this is the second to last thing you want to happen when a prospect Googles your business, and they type it into Google and hit enter. The very last thing that you want to happen is for there to be no matches at all and you to have no presence online. Most people are going to be searching online for things. I know if you're in the Medicare business, maybe some seniors aren't going to be as, digitally native as some of maybe your marketplace people. But I will say, as someone whose parents are getting into Medicare themselves, they Google stuff, like they do use the internet. So they are going to be looking for your presence online. And there are two problems that you can come up with here, potentially. This is one of them, to not see your agency on here. And the other problem that you're going to run into is slightly worse, can be actually a lot worse, but this is the only other problem we could have, is You don't want this to happen. You don't want someone out there to be stealing your business, whether that be the carrier who's throwing bajillions, I don't even know how many dollars, into their advertising online, and they're scooping up your clients before you can get to them. Or God forbid, someone is impersonating your business, steals your Google business account from right under you before you even get to make it. And then you end up in a situation like this where there's traction benefits out there. Look out for him. If you see him, you let me know. Anyway, once you create a Google business account, this is what it will look like once someone Googles your agency. So as you can see, I'm using our own Google business account as an example. I'm sure at some point in your life, if you've Googled anything, any business, anything at all, you've seen a page like this. These don't come up by accident. The business created these. As you can see, our website, we do have a website, as you probably already know, and that is on the, I think I'm mirrored, so left-hand side, you'll see the website. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see your Google business page. That portion right there on the right is your Google business page. And that is what will come up if someone types exactly in your business. So if your business name is Chelsea Smith Insurance Agency, then if you type that in, this is what would come up if you had a Google business account. If you don't, then who knows what's going to come up. I know at least there's an actress named Chelsea Smith. She comes up sometimes when I Google myself. Not what you want to have happen. So to create a Google business account, it's really simple. These are all the things that you don't even really actually need a street address. It will ask you for one. And I always recommend putting one in. But if you don't have an address, like an office you'd like people to come to, you don't have to put an address in there. It does prefer that you have a website URL, but again, you don't need one. The more information you provide to Google, the more likely that it is that your agency will come up when it is Googled. So give it as much information as you are comfortable with giving. You do absolutely have to have a Google account though. Most of us have one in 2025 if you're using the internet, just the Gmail account. And your business has to have a name, go figure, and then a phone number. Google will ask you to verify your business. Each business, in my experience, each business has a different, Google will pick different ways to have you verify your business based on the information it gives you and based on where it wants you to show up or what kind of online presence you have. So for example, if you want to show up on Google Maps and you put in a street address, it will ask you to verify that address. When I created the account for Action Benefits, they emailed us a little postcard that had like a code on it. And then I had to give that code back to Google to verify that, yes, we live here. This is our business. This is our address. We do business here. They've asked me for pictures before of like certain areas of the business to make sure that we didn't just like, I don't know, snag the mailman right before and take I don't know what they thought was going on, but that's happened. I've heard of others wanting a like phone call or some other information. It all depends on how much you want to show up and where you want, how much verification you want, how much information you give them. They'll ask you to verify those things. None of it was particularly difficult. They just want to make sure, which is understandable. That makes it, now you know that it's secure. Once the account is set up, I'm not going to walk you through the process of creating an account. It's pretty simple. And some of it might be some waiting around. So I'm just going to cut to the chase. As long as you are logged into your business account, to your Gmail account, when you go on to Chrome, if you type in your business's name, you will see this as the owner of the business account. And this is where you can edit the account and add more information. Like I said, the more information you add, the more likely Google is going to push you up the algorithm to get your agency popping up when someone just Googles like health insurance near me or something like that. So you'll see this, all the buttons are pretty self-explanatory, putting in some information in the profile, photos, so on and so forth. And again, you will still see this on the right-hand side, except you'll see the things like you're the manager of this profile, edit your business information, so on and so forth. This section will allow you to update. If you click on that edit part, it will let you update things like your phone number, your business hours, your address. You can add other buttons in here. Like I know there's a chat button that you can add in there if you'd like, stuff like that. Google will email you every once in a while and ask you to update your business hours, especially around holiday times. I always recommend doing that if it asks you to. And this is also where you can add some photos up here in that photo button right there. I suggest putting in a couple of photos. It will ask you for some. I suggest putting in one in the front of your office so people know what to look for when they drive to your office. I'd put in a picture of your logo. It's kind of hard to see because I had it on dark mode when I took the screenshot, but there is a logo there. And then there's a couple other pictures of just people who work here, just to prove that you are a real human being. The more you can prove to Google and to your prospective prospects that you are an actual business, the actual people working there who are actually nice and wonderful, the more likely that you're going to be displayed on Google Business to people who are searching just for health insurance instead of directly for your business. So as you go down the website, this is the spot where if you wanted to do ads and pay for ads, you could totally do that here. We have another webinar that tells you how to do that. So I'm going to kind of gloss over this portion for now, but that is where you would access your Google advertising profile. I went to a webinar the other day about Google Business, and the SME from that webinar told us that the question and answer portion does help boost you as well. So if a prospect asks a question about your business and submits it, make sure you answer it. People who are not your business, like other Google users, can answer the questions for you. Just make sure the answers are correct and correct the person if the answer is incorrect. But that does kind of give your profile a boost. But the boostiest boost you're going to get is from reviews. They can be housed in the Google Business account. Instead of the get more reviews button, the person would have a write a review button. You can't review yourself, unfortunately. But the reviews are listed there. We do have webinars about how to get more reviews and how to handle negative reviews. So if you're interested in that, check out our YouTube channel where we have the recording of that webinar. They could click that button, get more reviews if you want to see this. And this page, you can copy and paste that link. You can add it to your website. You can add it to your Google signature, or I'm sorry, your email signature, wherever it would make sense. And then you can right click this QR code and save that image, and then add that QR code to Creative, print it out, put it in a folder that you're giving out to your clients, add it to your onboarding material, whatever, to get the reviews that you need. This is where you can add some updates to your website. Maybe you're saying like, today is National Healthy Eating Day, stuff like that. I tend to post on ours once a day. The more you post on it, the more likely it is that you're going to get that algorithm hit. And then at the very bottom, add any additional social media profiles that you have, such as like your Facebook or whatever. We have a YouTube channel and a LinkedIn, so that's what's on ours. Ooh, and then proof that this does actually work is a slight humble brag from the marketing department here at Action. Every single slide, I feel like I said something about how the more that you have this, the higher up in the algorithm you go. It's been about 2 years since we created our account, our Google Business account, and we focused on making sure that Google understood that we were a field marketing organization, because as we did research, Google would get confused kind of about what the difference between a health insurance agency and an FMO was. Understandable. I didn't know what it was until I started working here. So we really tried to focus our efforts on making sure that was clear to Google and to people visiting our website. It took about 2 years, but now when you Google field organization near me in Southfield, the AI does tell you about us. instead of just what an FMO is. It tells you what an FMO is and what action benefits is. And then the very first website to come up outside of the Google AI overview is us. So it took 2 years, but we are number one, at least in Southfield. I didn't try Tahiti, so don't quote me on whether or not we'll show up in Tahiti, but we are number one here. So this is proof. It does take time, but you will get there. You just have to try. It takes a while. And then, like I said before, if you verify your address, you will show up on Google Maps. There's us on Google Maps. It does take a few extra steps, but something to look out for if you're a place that wants foot traffic or want people to show up to an office. So really quick, while I take a sip of water, because I've been doing a lot of talking, think to yourself really quickly, answer in the chat if you'd like, send me a message if you'd like, about which feature within Google Business you think will be the lightest lift and which one you think will be the heaviest lift, the hardest to do. I personally have found the hardest lift is just continuing to get reviews. If you're a Medicare agent, you know you can't bribe people to get reviews. So just keeping steady reviews over time has been a challenge for, I think, is the most challenging thing. Creating the account, yeah, maybe you might have to talk to Google a little bit, but I think keeping reviews is the hardest part. That's just me personally. So next we have Calendly. We use this in Action to schedule meetings with anyone outside of the business. So use Calendly if you would like a singular place to house all of your client meetings. If you'd like a spot for clients to independently schedule meetings with you without having to call or play phone tag with you, they can just set up the meeting on their own. If you'd like a digital address book, and if you would like to integrate your calendar with Zoom, Outlook, Chrome, stuff like that, to make a more seamless process for yourself, for the agent, you can schedule with a client, clients can schedule with you, and then would put it on both of your calendars. I think this is pretty nifty, and most of the stuff that, the most beneficial parts, in my opinion, are free. So this is what Calendly looks like on its own as if you are the user, the manager, the agent, if you will. This is what it would look like for you. I already had this account set up. I'm not going to do a live demo of this one just because there's a lot of like waiting to get emails back and forth, which it's not like it's a long wait or anything. It's just I don't want to spend time on a webinar waiting to get an email. So this is what this it looks like for you as the agent, and each meeting that you have will pop up on your screen like so. But like I said before, you can integrate this account with your Google or with your like Gmail account or with your Outlook account, and then it will automatically put these appointments onto those calendars if you're already used to using that calendar, which I think is a huge benefit. I would not be recommending this product to you if that was not the case. Because I know me, I would not go look at this every day. I would look at my Google or my Outlook calendar and go, oh, I have no appointments. And then meanwhile, there's like 5 appointments in here. So it does integrate. You just have to tell it to integrate. So really fast, this is how you would set up an account. You would just select on your own. You would tell them what type of business you are, which I picked sales. That made the most sense to me. And then this is the spot where you would put in your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar or whatever calendar that you would like to use. And I highly recommend doing this. I would not recommend using this product without doing that. So that way it adds all your appointments to your whatever calendar of choice you use. You can set hours for yourself. I think this is really nifty as well. You can kind of do this in Outlook. I think it's easier to do this in Calendly, where you can set hours for your clients and say, hey, anybody can schedule at any point during these times. Or you can set days off. As you can see, I set Saturday and Sunday off for myself because I'm generous to myself, I guess. You can also set ways that your clients can choose to interact with you. So if you only want to take, let's say on Mondays, you know that you have your kid with you, and you don't want to be on the phone with them, you can set, okay, only Zoom meetings on Mondays because I don't want to drag my kid into the office. But like the rest of the week, we can do in-person meetings because I won't have my kid, they'll be in daycare, whatever. You know, just an example. You can also set it to say, oh, I only want phone calls, or you can do any of these things, whatever the client is most comfortable with, whatever you're most comfortable with. I thought that was pretty cool. And then once you finish all that, it will create a link, a hyperlink for you. You copy and paste, you save the link, copy and paste it. And then what we do and what I do and what I've seen most happening is then you put that link into your email signature or anywhere else that it makes sense. You could put this into your Google business profile, your website, your social media profiles, wherever. And then once your client clicks upon that link, it sends them to this and it will set up a meeting, and you can see they can click over here. They can, I already had done some of it just so I could show you most of the process, but they can choose to do it in person. They'll put the address there for them. They can click on the days you're available. As you can see, then it lists all the times that you have available. They can click on that time and then date, toggle through whatever they need to do. And then they enter in their name, their email, any other people who might be coming to this meeting, and then any notes or anything they'd like to share with you before the meeting starts, they hit schedule. Then they get an email confirming that appointment with you, and then it would add it to your calendar, and it sends you an email as well confirming that appointment. And then you can see it has a little calendar invite. You can add it to the calendar. I think that's pretty nifty. Oh, I do that once in a webinar, sorry. And then you can go, it can go the other way around too. So once that person sets a calendar invite with you, they are added to your address book. You can go to your address book, as you can see down here. And then you can book a meeting with that client yourself as well. So it doesn't work. It's not a one-way street. You can also book meetings with them as long as they accept the meeting, of course. But then they house everyone in your address book. I only have one because this is just my demo account. I just am friends with me, but you can have more. I don't know what the limit is off the top though. Don't ask me what it is. But that's the basics. That's all of the I think that is all you really need off of Calendly, but it does have more options if you're willing to upgrade to the paid account. You can have multiple attendees. You can invite multiple people from your address book to one meeting. You can set follow-up reminders. If you have more than one person in your agency who you can meet with, you can put them all together so they can choose multiple people to have a meeting with. You can create a form to get feedback after the meeting or together, ask some questions of them after. And then you can have analytics of how many meetings you're setting, how long they're taking, who you're meeting with, so on and so forth. So I think that one's pretty cool to keep your self and your clients organized. SurveyMonkey, this one was requested by an agent. They said they wanted a tutorial on how to use it, so I am generous, God, and gave it to you. No, I'm joking. So SurveyMonkey has been around for a long time. I used it even when I was teaching back years and years ago. As you can probably guess by the name of this, SurveyMonkey is for agents who would like to create questionnaires and digitally share those questionnaires with their clients, whether that be for feedback or any other reason. The results are all housed in one place, and it organizes those results for you. And it has a simple way to analyze that feedback once you get in there. So I took I am going to show you this one live, but I did just take a quick screenshot of what it looks like right after you create the account, because it will ask you to make a survey right off the get. So you can either start from scratch, like maybe you have one on a Word document you used for years that you just want to put into SurveyMonkey. You can do that. They have templates that you can just plug and play your questions into, or you can build one with AI, which is kind of cool. Let me show you that right now, actually. So here is that same account. And I built this survey right here with AI. So if I click on it, I just typed in something like, hey, I'm a health insurance agent. I want to know what my clients feel about my experience with me. Did they think I was, like, I think I said empathetic? Was I knowledgeable? Was I blah, 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 blah. And then you can see I have the survey open, and I tested it myself. I only kind of finished it, but you can take a look at your questions, how often they get asked. The link is right there. Oh, there it is. If you hit the sign survey up here, you can see the questions. I just think this was cool because I literally just typed in a paragraph. I didn't want to make you watch me type in a paragraph, but I asked it to create a survey for me. It said, how satisfied are you with your plan? Did I help you find a good fit with your budget? Was I responsive? Was I knowledgeable? Was I easy to understand? You can change a bunch of stuff about it. And then once you're all good with that, I don't want to make you watch me look at a survey, but you can copy and paste the link and you can send that out. Either, again, you can put that on social media if you wanted to ask, like, what are you most looking for from your agent? Or you can say, what, like I did, say, how did you enjoy your experience with me? You can use that there. You can use the link, give it to them in your email after you're done with the exploration process. You can do just about anything you want here. And then I don't have a ton of analytics here because I've only sent this survey to myself, but it does collect the results for you. I don't have any, but it will show you all the answers that people put in, the trends that you'll see with the answers. Maybe you'll see, oh, like 20% of people are saying that I'm knowledgeable. Oh, I better start getting on my game there, or whatever. It does have the option to ask, you can pay it to send it out to you. I don't know if that'd be something an agent would be particularly interested in, but that is possible. And it houses all that data for you, which I think is pretty cool. And then you can have multiple surveys in here. You're not limited to one. So I just have one just because it was just a demo, but you can create as many surveys as you'd like. And like I said, this program has been around for a while. I used this back when I was teaching. So you can organize them in folders. It's easy to send the survey to someone as well. You can just hit send if you want to, and then copy and paste that link. You can also integrate it with like Mailchimp, which is, I'm not demoing that today, but that is a cool program as well to mail out things to multiple clients at the same time. Or if you have an address book from your Calendly, you could do that. You do have to, if you want to mail it out directly through SurveyMonkey, you do need to buy the upgraded version of the account, or use the text message feature. But this is a pretty powerful tool. If you have any questions about how to do anything in it, let me know. Type them in the chat and I'm more than happy to answer them for you. But I think this one's pretty cool. It can be pretty helpful for you if you're looking to get a lot of questions answered about your agency. I will say, as a quick disclaimer though, I have never paid for SurveyMonkey, so I don't, I'm just writing this based on an assumption and to be safe. I'd rather you be safe than sorry. SurveyMonkey does specifically call out that it is HIPAA compliant with its enterprise version. So my reading comprehension skills tell me that the free version is not HIPAA compliant. So if you are going to use this for, say, your discovery process with your clients to figure out what medications they're on, or to ask HIPAA questions, don't do that unless you're going to pay for the enterprise version, because I'm guessing that is the only way that it's HIPAA compliant. I've never used it to ask HIPAA stuff, so I would just steer clear of HIPAA stuff unless you're going to pay for it. Okay, so let me take a sip of water really quick while you answered me about where you would put your survey link to ensure your clients would fill it out. I'm seeing text message. So someone must have some sort of client management account where they are able to text them through their computer. And so that's a good idea. Yeah, once you're all done, like sending that survey out to your clients and texting it, that's cool. Smart move. I see the most success with agents. Most of them have told me they just put in their email signature, a link saying, hey, or after they email them something, checking on them to make sure their account works, or their plan works. They send out that link there. So get creative with it. Obviously don't put it on a poster because you can't click on it, but that's a perfect segue into this program. This is QRCodeChimp. I use this one. I can't say I use it every day because I'm not creating a QR code every day, but I use it a ton when I'm making creative, and I use it for agents as well when they ask me to use to make a QR code. It is so simple. I always encourage them to try to do it themselves, not because I don't want to help them, but because then they can get the data much more easily about who is using their stuff. And it's so simple, and then you can just keep making them for yourself whenever you want to. So QR code is for you if you'd like to create customized QR codes, if you'd like to download those QR codes and put them on like your flyers, your posters, your contact cards, your anything really that you can scan. If you are someone who would like a digital business card, you can create those through QRChimp as well. Scan it and then it'll give out your website, your email, your phone number, all that stuff that can be saved into that person's phone if they're using their phone to scan it, which might just go out on a limb and say like 99% of people are scanning these with their phones. And it can also count the scans and tell you how many people are using each QR code. This one I'm going to demo live as well. So let's check this one out. So this is my demo account. I've already created one for you just so I can show you what it's like on the dashboard. So this is what your dashboard would look like. It shows you the one code that I've created, and I checked it to make sure it worked. I purposely made this one kind of obnoxious because I wanted to show you that how like customizable they are. You can make it just a plain Jane square black and white QR code if you want, or you can make a shopping cart purple, blue, and orange one with your logo in the middle that says "Scan Me." So they can get as creative as you want, and then you can edit them a lot as well. So you can put the name of it right there, and then that is the link that you would put in there. I just used a example link just so I could make it the code, but the link would go in there. You can download it right here, edit it, and then view the scans of how often a person has scanned it. So this one has 2 unique scans because I tested it, but I have not put it anywhere. So because it's a test. Back when I first started using QR code, this information was free, but they do make you pay for it now. I don't pay for it, but you can see how often, when, what time of day, what type of device, what browser they use, and where the person is scanning at if you want to get that detailed. It was interesting when I had the capabilities to see that information, but I can also understand where you wouldn't really need to see that. And then if you want to create a new QR code, you would just hit create new QR code, say that 5 times fast right there. Digital business card, I highly recommend as an agent that you have a digital business card. They're free to make. It's really easy. We can do that here. You click on it. They have some templates that you can, as you can see, it'll create it for you. So when someone scans that code, this is what will pop up on their phone. You can add your picture, your logo, your name, your company, phone number, email, text message number if you want a different text message number than your phone number. All sorts of other different, see, there's, you could calendar, you could put your Calendly link in there. Links, so links to your Google business account. Social links you could put in your Facebook account or your LinkedIn. Lots of different stuff. And then it'll create the code. I don't know if it'll make me add all this stuff, or I can show you the next page. You can change the way that the QR code itself looks. You can change the shape, so on and so forth. And then you can download it as a JPEG or a PDF, whatever, and add it to your thing. Oh, we got a question here. These blink. Yes. Okay. Yeah. There's a bunch of different QRCodeChimp used to be kind of like exclusive, but there is a lot of different programs that do similar things. Blink is awesome as well. I just happen to be familiar with this one, so I'm putting it out there, but Blink is also a great option. The next thing I'm going to show you has a QR code feature built into it where you can make QR codes with it. But the only reason I don't recommend that one is because it does not give you the same tracking capabilities as QRCodeChimp does. Blink, I believe, does. I haven't used it in a minute, so if you remember, let me know. But they have done that one before too. But QR codes, they're so easy to make. Agents ask me to make them for them, and of course I'm willing to do it, absolutely. But they're so easy to use, and it's so cool to, you can track. Awesome, I thought you could. I love that. And yeah, tracking is so, I think that's so important, because then you can make maybe the same QR code for 2 different places or 2 different events. You can see what one is more valuable, or what one's being used more often, or which one, if you pay for the tracking, you can say like, oh, I can know that this many people from this area are scanning this one. So I know that, you know, this is the more hot topic place for me. So I think it's really cool. I highly recommend this. It's not something I use every day, but it's something I highly recommend. Okay, so Canva. This is the one I use literally every single day, multiple times a day. I love it. I've loved it since before I started working here. I have a personal account as well. I have 2 personal accounts, and I have an account through Action Benefits. If there's any tool besides Google Business I recommend this one. It is so, you will use it in your personal life and in your agency life. It's great. Canva is for you if you want to make anything. Like, it's like Microsoft Paint, but like 500 times better. You can download anything you make and print it or post it. And you can order prints directly from them if you so choose. I never have. There's usually cheaper options through like Shutterfly or whatever. But that is possible. You can make literally anything. Let me show you. So Canva is like I said, it's like graduated big kid Microsoft Paint. You just hit, it's pretty straightforward how to use. I don't want to spend a ton of time showing you how to use it because it is pretty straightforward, but you just pick a size. You just hit create new design, pick a size, and then it lists all the stuff you've made, but you've already seen all the stuff I've made because you see it every day. When you visit our website, you can add in graphics. You can generate your own graphics. If you're busy and you don't want to make this yourself, you can use a template, which I think is super duper cool. And then just add in the stuff you want. So if you wanted to create something for your Google Business account, boom, you pick this one, you replace the picture with you replace this with your logo, replace all this stuff, and then you can just come over here, hit share, download it, boom. You've got yourself a poster. You can then resize it to, let's say, a social media post. or Instagram posts. Maybe that's your thing. I don't know. Takes a second. Now it's the exact same size, exact right size that you need for an Instagram post. And now you can download it again, put it on Instagram instead of having to remake something else, right? This is so unlimited. Like, I don't want to spend a ton of time just going through it, but I could spend a whole hour just telling you about Canva because I love it so much. But you can create website pages on this. You just have to find somewhere to host it. This is for like the creative portion. It does not host the website for you, but you can create stuff for your website on here. You can create posters, you can create LinkedIn posts, you can create emails, videos, PowerPoints, anything at all. Like, this list will go on forever. Zoom virtual background, bookmarks, lesson plan, whatever. It is so easy to use. Maybe you don't like this, you drag it off. Maybe you want to get rid of this, you just hit backspace, you delete it. Maybe you want to add a puppy, you just search for puppy. And I say, excellent choice, you add a puppy. Oh, and then puppy, you drag into puppy space, he's there. You undo it, you don't want him there. Make him smaller, you get the idea. But it is so easy to use. I've used it for years. Highly recommend this. You can pay for an upgraded version to get additional graphics. You have music in there. There's videos here. Man, do it up, please. Like it's so easy, and you're just watch the clock because you'll dump hours into this because you'll be having a blast. So anytime you want to make your own, you can make your own logo in here. So much you can do. Such a great tool. Very easy to use, and they are responsive too if you have any problems or questions using. So I don't want to keep gushing about it, but you get the idea. Awesome tool, highly recommend it. Mailto link generator. This one I don't use every single day, but when I use it, it works, and it's great. This is if you want to create an easy way for your clients to contact you. It automatically generates an email for the client, and they can just type their own information in it and hit send. So for example, if you wanted to add to your website a contact me about Medicare, or contact me about answering your questions about TRICARE, you would go to this website. It's just mailtolinkgenerator.com. You type in your email address, the subject line, you can add it in for them. So this is going to send an email on their behalf. You type in what you want in the body. Hey, Chelsea, I just have a question about my health insurance plan. And then you would push the generate my Mailto link button. It creates a link for you. You can add that link then to your email signature. That's just the example I had here because it was quick, but you can add that to your website, your Google business profile, your social media accounts, wherever. And then once that person clicks upon that link, it then opens their mailbox for them, creates an email to you from them that is already started for them and says, hey, I have a question. And then they can type in their question. So it's much quicker and easier for them to send an email to you where they don't have to do extra steps or type in your email address or whatever. I also have done these in the past on our website for a share option. So if you've ever seen a button on a website that says share with a friend or something, that's a Mailto generator that's working in the background to create an email address or an email for that person to hit send. And then the body of the email is the thing you're sharing. So we have these buttons on our website for webinars. So if you hit share, if you ever hit one of those buttons before, it will pop up your email, open your email for you, and it will leave the to portion blank instead. And then, excuse me, you can then type in your email address of your friend and say, hey friend, check out this webinar I'm going to go to. Let's go watch Chelsea for an hour, and then send it to that person, and they can go see what you're looking at. So you can get pretty creative with how to use these. Those are just the two ways that I use it. And like I said, I don't use it every day, but I use it every time I make our training calendar And I've seen many a email signature have them here. And then, as I said, there it goes. There's the link at the bottom. So you can click here to ask me a question or whatever it is you want them to do. Whew, okay, those are all of the most of the things I wanted to get to today. I did want to briefly do coverage for one, then coverage for companies. If you're not familiar with our quoting and enrollment tools, I didn't want to spend a ton of time on them because we do have webinars that focus on coverage for one, coverage for companies, and AgencyBloc, but I don't feel comfortable not talking about them at all because they are valuable tools that you can use as an agent. So coverage for one is for you if you want to work with multiple carriers, with multiple action carriers, I should say, in the Medicare market. It is a quoting and enrollment tool. It does work with Priority Health and Blue Cross for under 65. It does allow you to quote off the marketplace, and it does give you a one pane of glass to view your action business. Your homepage or your dashboard would look like this. As you can see on the marketplace, you can have your Blue Cross, your Priority Health quotes right there on the left. Then you have your off marketplace quoting right here. And then you have your Medicare quotes you can do there. Help, you always have the individual team right there helping you. Any individual, shout out to any individuals, team and members who might be on this webinar right now. And then you have your off marketplace business listed right there for you. So I don't, like I said, we already have a whole webinar that talks about this tool, but I just wanted to bring it up. This is what the Medicare side of coverage for one looks like. It is powered by Sunfire. So if you're familiar with Sunfire, you're familiar with our quoting and enrolling tool. I personally love it. If you go on our YouTube channel, there's a bunch of demos of me using it. They've added some, they have the scopes you can store in there. They've added a discovery session link where you can send them a link, and it takes down all of their drugs, all of their doctors, all of their information that you would use to quote for them. That's really cool. It houses their stuff for them and for you. Love this tool. So again, there's the latest version of me using this to show you is right here. If you want to look at it, look for this particular video on YouTube, and you can get a more in-depth tutorial. Or if you'd like some one-on-one time with your account manager on the individual side, please feel free to contact them. And they can give you a demo as well. I did not screenshot anything for coverage for companies just because I figured we'd be very close to the end of time at this point. But same thing for coverage for companies. It houses all of your Blue Cross business in it. You can quote multiple plans. There's suites in there, so you can customize a lot of things. You can add a couple of riders in there. I'm just trying to list anything else I can think of off the top of my head. But it's a wonderful tool. It's been around for many years. It just keeps getting better. If you are in our co-broker arrangement, you get the use of coverage for companies for free. So if that's something you're interested in, please contact myself, contact David Blackburn. We can get you started with that as well. And then the last one, the bonus one, I do want to make it very clear. When I talk about this particular product, AgencyBloc, it is not free. I did say at the beginning that all of these but one are free. This is the one that is not free. Ooh, is it powerful though? We do have an action coupon discount code. If you would like that, you can reach out to me or info@action, and we can get you that discount code for AgencyBloc. But AgencyBloc is a client management system, a relationship management system. And that's a mouthful, but what that means is you can do all of these things and more with AgencyBloc. You can log and monitor your clients across all 3 of your lines of business, collect and work leads all into one place. can manage your email marketing, track activities and services, set automatic actions. So every time someone sets up a Calendly invite, let's say with you, you can set it up to automatically also forward them some information about your business or whatever. Or let's say every first quarter, you can automate it to say, you know, happy New Year, whatever. You can create email campaigns. We use HubSpot to do that. So I'm not familiar with how it works with an AgencyBloc, but if you're looking for a place to do that, this is a great place to do it. We just pay for it somewhere else, so we use it somewhere else. We collect and house paperwork compliantly, and there's so many more things. I don't want to list all this stuff because it is a paid service, so I promise you free services in this webinar. But I did want to mention it because we do have a coupon code to make it a little cheaper for you. I felt like I kind of wanted to at least tell you about it. If you're interested, we do have a action paired demo that AgencyBloc was kind enough to work with us to create. So if you're interested, I would check out this video to see more about it, and then contact us if you would like to get started with that code. And I already mentioned the code, but you get a code. Whew, okay, so I talked a lot and I made it within the hour. Yes, okay. I know I went over a lot of stuff today. But like I said, I truly do use every single one of these products that I mentioned. Most of all of them at AgencyBloc were free. If that's it, then thank you so much for spending some time here with me today. I hope this was beneficial to you, and have a great rest of your day.